Here's my wolf pack. I have another story for you. Let's see. I think I'll start with. Let's see. I have two different ones. I'll do this one, and I'll do another one in the next video. So in the first story time would be about how I got into Sonic. I remember, I think it was no, I wasn't really that young, but I remember back when the Nintendo GameCube was a huge deal. If you remember the Nintendo GameCube, you would know what I'm talking about. So, when I first got the GameCube, I remember how happy I was when I first got it. It was like an amazing system. It had some good games, and I remember some of them that were actually pretty cool to play, like Super Mario Sunshine, Sonic Heroes, all that good Pikmin, all that good stuff. So, my first ever Sonic game I never played before, which was called Sonic Heroes. And I didn't know at the time it was a Sonic game because I remember when I played it, I was like, Sonic Heroes, huh, that's cool. Like, I wonder what these guys are, because I didn't know who Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails were back then. So I just simply thought it was just a normal. It was like one of those animal games or something that you play and then you just like whatever. So when I first started playing Sonic Heroes, I never realized how hard it was because I simply did not have the good experience to play the game myself because, I was young and just loved the GameCube. I didn't pay attention to the, hard-ass levels you go through. Same with Super Mario Sunshine. I just, played with the easy levels and didn't think there was, any more levels I could take and all that. So, I remember when I first started to play Sonic Heroes, I remember choosing my team I wanted to play as first. I think at first I played Team Rose as like a beginner sort of game for me, but then but then that's when I started to grow away from Amy Rose to starting to like Team Chaotix, Team Dark, and Team Sonic himself. And I think the moment I remember playing Sonic was I started to get into it when my best friend actually introduced me to making a fan character of a Sonic character. It was in Little Big Planet, and I remember my first ever Sonic character I got from him was Holly. She is a character that he made for me when we hung out that one day. Do I have Holly in here? No, I don't. Damn. So Holly was actually my first ever, and I mean first ever, Sonic character I ever owned, and I guess you can thank my best friend for making her because I simply did not know how to at the time. I didn't know it was going to be that easy to make them. So when I first got Holly, I immediately was telling my friend thank you and all that. I was happy. And that's when it inspired me to make my own OC. So my first ever Sonic OC before my wolf character was a hedgehog named Legend. He was a black and green hedgehog I made simply by coloring my character black. Did not give him any detailing for the eyes or anything. I just made him stay with button eyes. And I remember putting a paint splat. I think I still have it. It's a paint splat that's green, and I put it on his head as a sort of a. It was a sort of thing. If I can find it, it's I'll see. Yeah, I had. Where is it? Aha! This is the paint I used. I put that on the head of him, and I just stuck it as his design or something. And ever since then, I started to actually evolve into making my own official characters when I started to practice more about how to make them properly. And my first ever idea I remember of my own OC was when I remember back when I had an old PlayStation name, I think it was called Wolf Warrior or something like that. I don't remember. Well, it was White Wolf at first. My first ever PSN was White Wolf, but then I changed it to Wolf Warrior. I'll just say my first account was White Wolf, and then I just changed it to Wolf Warrior when I got my account back. So the reason why I made my wolf character was because I realized that I do remember how it was Wolf Warrior, and I remember I talked to one of my old PlayStation friends back then that told me like I should make a character that that represents my name or something, and they're like, yeah, and I said like, so I started to think of like either like some white armor, color it black, and also give her a sword to make her look like a warrior sort of wolf thing. So after they liked the idea of me making her, I then started to get inspired a lot more by making her my official OC, by simply thinking up. Because I remember I remember I made her as like a cat-like looking creature because I did not have any wolf parts for her. That is until I evolved her in the later games that she became a werewolf designed wolf character. And that was until my best friend showed up, and I was in the PlayStation 3 version of Little Big Planet 3 at that time, and I remember I met one of my best friend, and he showed me the wolf head, which is the one I'm wearing. And I simply was like, oh my god, I can't believe they have a wolf head. I've been wanting that for so long. And he told me where to get it, and I'm like, okay. So I remember I played the story mode to get the regal wolf costume, and just like that, that's how Wolfy was born. And I've been using this head ever since, so I never did change it. Anyway, so I think what I like about this head is that the eyes blink. When you're mad, it looks like she's growling, and I really love this head so much. I just love the design, all that, and I gave her like wolf paws and feet, which explains why my OC doesn't have any shoes on. Anyway, so ever since then, ever since I didn't. I think it's all because my best friend introduced me to Sonic. I immediately started to become a Sonic fan because of all the OCs and, well, because of how fun it is to make a character of the Sonic universe and all that. So, yeah, I know it's a huge explanation, but there you go. That's how I became a Sonic fan. And I hope that you enjoyed this story time, and I can't wait to tell you some more stories when I come up with one. Later.